Please, you're too kind. You're too kind. Please, I've got. Please, I've got a show we got to do here, folks. Please. Welcome back to another episode of the Snooze Button Specials, the interview series where I sit down with the artists and creatives around Atlanta that you are sleeping on. And we are back again here with another special episode, just as all my episodes are special. But I've got here today with me, I'm always going on my quest of speaking to all the DJs here around Atlanta, so I'm just adding another one here to the Pokédex. I've got here with me, as some of you know him, your local pretty nigga, Mr. Armando.
What's going on, everybody? Atlanta, Salt Lake City, internet, world, universe.
Yes.
How are we doing?
Thank you. They're too kind.
They're the greatest, I promise.
They love it. Mando, my brother.
Man, Tyrone. Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much, man, for having me out here today.
Thanks.
Sweating up a storm here in your humble abode here.
Thanks for having me be a part of it, man. The intro, amazing. I was just like, oh my gosh, like this guy here. I can't wait. I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, this has been somewhat of a long time coming. I mean, obviously, we've had multiple interactions and things like that in the scene throughout the. I feel like I've known about you now for about a year, 2 years now. I want to say the first time I saw you in person was, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on someone's name right now, and they're gonna fucking hate me. But it was at it was like a tea time. Or was it like it was something we were making tea.
Oh, I know who. Eli.
Shout out my brother Eli.
Oh my
I feel like a fucking asshole for getting your name, but I ain't seen the nigga in forever.
Bro, that's why I was just literally. Yeah. It's crazy you bring him up. I was having a conversation with someone. I don't know if it was Chris or not. But I was just like, I haven't seen Tyrone. I haven't seen Eli. Like literally, y'all were grouped in the conversation of just saying where are some of my creatives that like I genuinely enjoy hearing, because outside of you, for again your articulation and just like overall journalism, I think the experience I had with Eli at the What's the Tea was super dope, because I just did that like right after a DJ set. So him sitting down and making tea, which I love, tea over coffee for me. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
It was just a super dope experience. Like I think he wanted it to go one way. I thought it was gonna go another way, and then we just ended up like becoming bros by the end of it. Like,
yes,
it was
man.
just awesome.
Shout out to Eli, that man over there in college getting that degree.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. But yeah, so that was the first time that I had saw you in person. I'd seen you just on the interwebs. I think at that point you were still transitioning from artist to DJ. And then I think the first like journalistic interaction I had with you, which is something that didn't come out, right. But it was at the 1606 event, and it was a DJing competition that you actually came in first place.
Yeah.
And so that was like a really big like jump in seeing you like, okay, I see him starting out, and then boom, now the niggas winning competitions.
Yeah. Shout out to God.
Yeah.
Shout out to 1606. Actually, that was such like a super awesome interaction in general. They're really great people at heart. I want to say that. Like, I know for a lot of people, I had a conversation with another DJ, and they were just like, bro, when you first came onto the scene, we're all collectively like, can I cuss on this?
Yeah.
Okay, they were all collectively like, who the fuck is this guy? And why is he getting all the bookings? But once they heard me, they could understand my talent. But then once they spoke to me, they became a fan. And like, for the 1606 just for clarification purposes, it was like, tag your favorite person and we'll give them a slot. And like, there was a lot of people that were tagged, but like, I went crazy. I never really asked my fan base to do something like that, you know, building my own events and stuff. People would just come to support me. So when I did give them something to attack, boy, did they do it. And I spoke with 16. He was like, bro, to be honest with you, we already kind of knew who we thought were going to win and then who we're going to pick, you know what I'm saying? But we saw the overwhelming amount of support that you had, and it would be like criminally unfair for us not to give that to you, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, I appreciate them for doing that, because I compare that like tactic to a Ponzi scheme a lot. Like a lot of people do it just to engagement bait for their event, you know what I'm saying? But that was super real of him to be like, hey, we had a choice that would have been safe, that would have been smart, but we still chose you because we saw you did that. And it was great. For the first time ever, I really asked my manager to step in and handle something for me. I'm kind of like a do it with your own hands type person. I was upset at first when a certain announcement was made when they had announced Calypso. And I was just like, bro, what the fuck? There's no way. I didn't know she was in the thing. And I just hit my manager. Like, I was like, hey, talk to this nigga. And like, I promise you, less than 5 minutes passed, a promotional post was made. Me and 16, because 16 had already reached out, but like Trey and him, I don't even know what that conversation was. That was a behind closed doors conversation, as most managerial conversations are. But I was just ecstatic to like do it. And I think that also marked for me, like, I'm really doing this. Because I went to Puerto Rico, I had did the Trippie Redd thing, but like something about the 1606 set, again, right before the set, I was telling you outside, my mom was just like, hey, nigga, you don't look like you care about yourself. Like, you've been sitting in your depression for a minute. Because like, I had just broke up with my ex. I thought I was gonna marry that girl. It was really, really big thing. She was like, I can't stand seeing you like this. Like, you need to really love yourself. And I went and got a haircut for the first time and like fucking forever. I looked good. I felt great, even though they put me as an opener, and I was like, damn, ain't nobody really gonna be there. I killed all of my friends. Well, not all of my friends, but all of the friends that I knew I could get in, they came. We had a great set. And like, come this upcoming October, it will have been a full year since then that I've been a full-time DJ, and I've been booked every weekend. So it's like, it literally like marked the beginning of a new era for me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, ever since that time I saw you, ever since then, it's been a constant thing. Like, you haven't looked back since then.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool to see you do that. Well, I guess here at the top, you know, since we're on this, you know, DJing thing. Now, you said previously you were just, you know, a musical artist, but what made that transition, or what about DJing that caught you that was like, okay, let me try my hand at this?
So for those who don't know, like, I am a multifaceted person. I'm an amalgam of an individual. I curate shows. I was a host before I was a DJ. I've been making music since I was a kid. I used to be in drama. I was in chorus. Like, I just love music and the arts, period. So I've always been a part of it. And I think, you know, being an artist, and I still am one, there's a certain level of articulation that constantly has to happen. You know what I'm saying? Not just me speaking to express, but speaking to be understood. You know what I'm saying? And to explain something. Lyrical schmiracle ass niggas like me constantly explaining shit. It's just like, it gets to a certain point. But I think also my first real love, and it's gonna sound horrible, it was money. My granddad used to sit me on his lap when he would come home from work and shit, and pass me his wallet, and I would count through it as a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have always been taught business, and I think my accurate for business, along with my love with music, didn't necessarily mesh at a point. You know, I worked for a record label. I was throwing events. I kept being in a space of where I was like, my art, my thing that I love, isn't bringing me finance. And I that's what brought me to the thing I'm at now, where it's like, I don't want my art to be something that, like, I have to sell you this CD or I'm gonna starve. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got mad respect for niggas like Larry June, who are already rich as fuck before they were a rapper, because it didn't matter whether or not you wanted to buy it. He just was doing it for the love of the game. And like, in the midst of me being like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? How am I going to do this, but do this? I found like, nigga, I really love music. Like, there is a DJ Wizard Craig. He DJ'd my brother Coley Xavier's. I think it was like, if I remember correctly, it was funny enough his 25th birthday, and I just turned 25. Like, super full circle. That's funny, right? But he DJ'd it, like, he went crazy, like, throughout my whole event life. Like, I've always said, if you could see me perform, you'll be a fan. You may like my music, you may like my DJing, whatever, but if you could see me perform, you're a fan. And he performed that whole day just DJing, and it really felt different. Like, it was the first time I ever walked up to someone and was like, can I touch the DJ board? You know what I'm saying? It really rocked me to my core. And there's a guy, Joel, the owner of the Heirloom, he'll tell you, when I first started, I sucked. The first board I had didn't have headphone jack. So like, I would literally be blind DJing. Like, I wouldn't know how the next thing is about to sound. I'm just dropping it in there. And I had to like learn how to DJ reading the wave files rather than like being able to hear the blend before it happens. And he'll tell you, like, he says I was ruining my own shows because I would be DJing them, and he would be like, well, it's his show. I mean, we can't knock him off his own shit. But after a while, he said it went from being like me asking to DJ to people asking me like, hey, can you please DJ? And like, there again was I love doing this. This is fun. This is expression. This is me putting like all of my feelings into something. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to explain them. I'm just doing it. But like, once I saw Zach Fox, I think that's what locked it in. Like, I was like, not identity, but I was just like, direction. You know what I'm saying? I think at that point I was still doing what most niggas are doing, which is like mixing hip hop, with wait, more hip hop. But like, hearing that set, like, it showed me like, no, I wasn't wrong for the thing that I was thinking that Joel was saying that I was bad at first. I just needed to learn the fundamentals. But like, the idea of a DJ is supposed to be able to play anything. You know, the idea of an open format DJ, kind of like, that term bothers me. It's like Tyler with the word urban. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people saying that is like kind of their way of trying to put down a DJ, or being like bedroom DJ, or I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I've never been a DJ bedroom because I already was a successful event curator. So I had swung all of that motion into me DJing. But I think DJs should be able to play anything. And that's why, like, I got more and more ambitious with every set. Like, let me mix Kurt Franklin with Usher, or let me play Power Line from the Goofy movie, or let me play fucking Phineas and Ferb. Like, there's moments throughout my sets and throughout each thing where you could tell, like, I'm just putting more and more of myself into it. And first off, it pays. A nigga, thank God. But it just feels great. Like, I don't have to explain myself to you. There is moments where, when I'm rapping and articulating, like, there's the dumbing down process, I would like to say, for my genius, for lack of a better word. But it's like, I don't have to explain myself to you. If you didn't feel what that was, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? But like, the proof is in the pudding. And at that point, it was just like, continue to add things to my resume, which selling out Controllerized, you know what I'm saying? DJing at the Atrium, DJing for Fabo, doing the Isaiah Rashad show, DJing for Trippie Redd, going to Puerto Rico. Like, all of these are the 1606 thing, DJing for the Lil 5 Points Festival, both the mini one and the real one, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, it was just like, okay, if these people are willing to look at me and be like, you know what you're doing, the mistakes that I was making in the four walls of my room, you know what I'm saying, weren't mistakes, but stuff that I needed to do to be able to get here. And
Okay.
I appreciate it.
I love that. I love that. Now, you mentioned a lot, you know, of points in time where people were like you say they were requesting you at a certain point. And you know, these are all like external factors of like, okay, I'm making it. But was there a point, or have you gotten to the point where you yourself was like, I know I'm him. Like, even if nobody picks me, I know I'm him.
I think I want to say it started with the 1606 set, and that's like what changed everything. Because after that, I came to that set with the intention to kill. Like, I was like, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna do what I'm doing, and like it just the gasoline kept burning. I think, again, as I was saying earlier, like I put my all into my DJing, like every ounce of stress, worry, whatever, external, internal, anything that I have spoken about or haven't spoken about, like I put everything into it. And it's like people are like, oh my gosh, I felt that. It's like, nigga, you have no choice but I put my all into it. So it's like really every time I'm DJing, I'm like, nigga, I'm killing. You know, it's real difficult to experience the painting as you're painting it. But there are moments where like I'm splashing colors together and I'm just like, oh my God, nigga, nobody Picasso, nobody could have did that.
So I was talking to when I was talking to Mommy Popo just about the DJing world. One of the things that we had spoke about was the other side of this. So in this case, the marketing side of the DJing world. Because, you know, with her, I was saying like, you know, she's very, when she made the switch to be a DJ, it was very intentional in how she presented herself, the type of content she made and all that stuff like that. Now for you, obviously, once again, coming from music world, you're not a stranger to promotion or self-promotion or anything like that. But how would you say you have found a balance of, you know, still being able to, you know, go through the process, you know, mixing and all that type of stuff, but while also finding that balance of, okay, we got to come out with a marketing plan. We got to find a way to make this like the thing.
Truth be told, I don't know if I have yet. Cause I'm still finding the way of like juggling both, you know what I'm saying? Like being an artist and doing the same thing you just said and doing that as a DJ, and doing it with events. But I think the thing that like has started to work for me is like capturing the after effect, you know what I'm saying? Like what the real thing with Controllerize wasn't even like the fact that I did it or how big it was. It was just how big of a moment it was for me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people still talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I was just talking to Drums and he was just like, bro, that was a special night. But that was like years in the making. You know what I'm saying? I think for me, I'm blessed to have like certain cosigns in a different realm, you know what I'm saying? Like moving more industrial, I guess, when it comes to like how it is I want to capture or promote things. But when it comes to like piecing together the events, like my manager says I need to be on TikTok way more. He absolutely feels like that's like a plate I'm missing out on, that I need to just talk to people more. I'm still figuring out how it is that I necessarily want to do that. But I think because of the energy of my set and people knowing like, hey, Mando's going to give it his all and going to go crazy. When they see my name, they're like, nigga, if I'm free, I'm going to be there. You know what I'm saying? And I really try to take the time to connect with every person that does come to see me. Like, whether we have a 15-second conversation or a 5-minute conversation, like you'll know that you're appreciated. You'll know that I care. I want to know like who you are to a degree, not too much, you know. But I appreciate you for being here, because at the end of the day, this shit is keeping me alive. You know what I'm saying? And there will get to a point, you know, relatively soon where it isn't that case. But like regardless, I don't think you can be a person standing on the hands and the wallets of the community and the people that's like choosing to have you around and not like pour back into them in whatever way you can. So I guess that's the approach I take to it.
Yeah. A thing that I see with you that I also pointed out with Mommy Popo, that I think what kind of like, even outside of the intentional marketing, but just like who you are as a person, the marketing that works for you all, is that I see that you all are, you are both very, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm just going to say invested in you all's communities, because I see that, you know, you'll do a Controllerize, Atrium, Isaiah Rashad thing, but then you'll turn around and do like the homies event or things like that. And I think those type of things do way more for marketing than like any flyer could, because I think that makes people say like you're approachable, you're a real person, as opposed to some of these DJs, which some of them have earned that right to be a little hard to reach. But you know, there's some caliber of DJs that you just feel like, I don't know how I can get to them. So that's what I would say that I have gathered from what you do. Now I want to ask you this too, because we are in somewhat of a, some would say it's an epidemic, but I would just say it's just a new renaissance of DJs right now.
Yeah.
Where, you know, we can throw a rock and probably hit 6 DJs somewhere around here. And, you know, there's a bunch of think pieces as to why people think that is and what the results of all of these things are. But I want to know your perspective as a somewhat of a new DJ relatively to the you know, the scene out here. One, how have you felt as far as a new person entering this community and space? And then secondly, have you had to battle this thing of like, ooh, like, I don't really like, this is new for me, or like people may be having these preconceptions of like, am I in this just for the money, or do I actually like fuck with the thing?
Oh, you know what? Look, I wish there was a bomb or a perfect for you. Like, you're an amazing fucking interviewer. Just know if you ever want to drop, you hit me up whenever. Yeah, bro. How do I want to answer this? I feel like I'll start with this. When people ask like, who is Armando? Like, why do you love this? You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom had a full ride scholarship to Juilliard, and then she got pregnant with me. You know what I'm saying? And like, you see where I'm from, like it's destitute out here. And she chose like to give up her dream just so I could live. And like, something that she's always poured into me is like, that choice isn't a regret I've made. It's like a reason why you have to do it. Like, you have to win. You have to see the world. You have to live. Because I chose to be a mom so you could. And I bring that up to say, like, you never know the reasoning behind why somebody is choosing to do something. And I think it's super, it's human of us. You know what I'm saying? I could say it's fickle and a lot of other like negative adjectives, but it's very human of us to like have prejudgments of something when you care about a craft deeply, but like, you don't know anybody's story and why they came to what they came to. Again, there's a lot of things that I'm good at, a lot of things that I'm great at, but DJing is something that I really love. Like, you know, I spoke with the vice president of Warner Records, and he was like, hey, if I approached you with a deal, realistically, will we be talking as an artist or will we be talking as a DJ? And I think like, there is no one or the other for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, life is a thing of crests and troughs. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be a trough where I'm not writing music, but I'm DJing my ass off. And there's going to be a trough where maybe people aren't booking the local pretty nigga because he's not as local anymore, and I'm going to be writing. But like, I don't like the idea of having to choose. You get what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times people want to put you in a box. Like, the point that you made earlier, just I'm trying to full circle all of this of like doing it for the money, or do you really love it? Like, you never understand why people are doing it for the money. You get what I'm saying? And like, even to a degree, like, I think when money is tool for survival is like, okay, niggas is just trying to survive. You get what I'm saying? By doing something they love. And in the paradigm that we live in, that's a super revolutionary thought, period. To not have to think like, oh, I have to degrade myself or do something that I don't want to do to be able to survive. You get what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm betting on my gift, my talent, my direction, my God, that I would be able to do this and survive. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's a lot of ways that people can prejudge somebody. I think can notice my evolution. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, I was definitely way more abrasive, way more South Side nigga, way more. And, you know, being able to speak better and being able to be more intentional with how I deliver my message has gotten me to a place of where I can have conversations with people who are like, no, I thought you were an asshole when I first met you. You know what I'm saying? But now I can understand it's just you have no filter. If you don't have fear, why would you have a filter? You get what I'm saying? And it's like, I applaud anybody that's doing it. I'm not going to hold you. Whatever your art, passion, gift is, do that shit, but be great at it. Something that my mom has always said is like, brilliance is an expectation, not a rarity. I expect you to be brilliant if you dare to say that you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Especially to say that we live in a Renaissance. The Renaissance men were all brilliant in literature and math and in everything outside of just their art. So if you're going to do it, you better be brilliant at it. And like, I think there's also way too many, how do I say this? The DJ world before this revolution was Skrillex and other, you know what I'm saying, pale complected people, and that's okay. But like, if you are a person of color, if you're a queer individual, if you're whatever, like what is it?
Denomination.
Thank you. Of like a lower represented group, you know what I'm saying? Like, do that shit. You deserve it. You get what I'm saying? Like, represent for your people, for your culture, for your sound, for your experience. I don't think there's ever a time to be like, oh, there's too many of something. If your story is good enough, if you're good enough, and if you determined enough, if you're brilliant enough, it doesn't matter.
I think a thing that I hear in you, and then I think, and this is, I guess, to the audience who may be like, you know, trying to figure that out, but to get a little philosophical here for a second.
All right, go ahead. I love this.
So, you know, a big thing that, you know, especially in America or just in this society we live in, it's very much of, you know, what do you want? What do you want out of this? What do you want to be? What do you want to get? Whatever. But what I've recently started to learn that's kind of the wrong question of what you want. It's rather, what do you want to want? Because I hear you speak, and you know, you're very much aware of, like, you say, like, you know, there may be times where nobody wants to book Mando, and that's okay. But that's because what you want isn't necessarily, oh, I want to be the hottest DJ. That's not necessarily what you want. But you want to be the best DJ.
Exactly.
Yes. So with that, you understand the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights that come with that, and you accept it. Right. And so I would say to someone out here, like, to your point of, there's not too much of anyone out here doing this. There's not too much of people wanting to want. But if you just want the thing, then you might want to ask, what are you doing it for?
Right.
But yes, when I hear you speak, I hear someone who wants to want it, as opposed to just wanting it. But yeah, that's my little 2 cents.
No, I think you're absolutely correct, because it's like when people ask, like, or to give a Boondocks reference, I've been doing it a lot recently. I really that was like ahead of its time, man. They have no idea how much it impacted like the world. But when they ask Riley, like, why do you want to change? And it's like, cause niggas gonna hate on me. Like, I want the bitches, I want the cars, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, like, everybody wants wealth. You get what I'm saying? Everybody wants luxury. That's just a human thing to want. If you had to choose between destitute and abundance, you're gonna choose abundance every time. But it's like, nah, I wanna rap and I wanna do music just because I love music. You get what I'm saying? In whatever way, shape, form that happens, and I want to be able to live off of that. Not only do I want to live off of that, I want to give back to the people around me. I want to give to, first off, my family. Like every major check I've made, I've always given 50% to my mama. You get what I'm saying? So just know, like, when that big ass deal come, immediately, nigga, I know we are straight, because there ain't no way my mama gonna run through the money the way I might. Yeah. But period, I don't pray for finance. I don't pray for God to like figure out things that my system should already be put together to figure out. I pray for things that are outside of my control, that my mother can know a good life before she dies, that my little brother, you know what I'm saying, who's autistic, can find like love and can grow in a certain way and like see life from a different lens than what he has known. You know what I'm saying? I pray that my brothers know success, that their children have healthy lives, that they don't, you know what I'm saying, end up with any disabilities or anything. Like, these are all things, inshallah, when I pray, is what I ask for. You get what I'm saying? But like, the idea of like the end goal just being the want is like, nah, man. There's like, because I want to be able to work for it. I want to be able to say every time that I deserve it. I deserve bigger clients. I deserve bigger bookings. I deserve bigger this, because what I do with it is serving. And I don't want to sound self-righteous, but going back into what I know clarifies me, at least in my mind, as a good man. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Let's take a little step back here a little bit and just get into a little bit of Armando, the human, the person.
Right.
So first off, where are you from originally? I think you kind of mentioned it now, but where are you from?
So yeah, I'm from Atlanta. If you want to get like super specific, you know.
There will be people checking you. Where? What high school you went to?
I was born in Southern Regional. I'm a South Side nigga, but I graduated on the East Side. I graduated from Miller Grove. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really from Atlanta. My mama was born in Grady. My first job was Waffle House.
Yeah, you really could have just said Chick-fil-A. Would have been the other answer. I'm like, yeah.
I don't know.
I know. But as far as like
them niggas ain't suffered the way I did. Well, I work. Okay, you know, to stamp it even more, I worked at Waffle House in the city during the pandemic.
Oh yeah, you real.
Night shift, nigga.
Okay, so you mentioned it a little bit though, but it's your mom. You have a brother, you said.
Yeah.
Is that all who's in the house when you were first growing up?
Yeah. My father. The man that I look the most like, I don't know. But my father was a felon. So some of my earliest memories with my dad is through prison class. You know what I'm saying? And when he would be out, I there's a hard memory I have super young. This nigga got arrested, right? Like, the police pulled up to the house. This nigga picks me up. He looks me in the face. I'm like maybe 4 or 5 years old. And he's like, "You're the man of the house now."
Wow. You were like, all right.
Like, I promise you, I've been locked in ever since. My mom, she swears, she's like, "That nigga took your childhood away from you." But yeah, it's always been me. I'm the eldest brother, you know, my little brother, my mom, you know what I'm saying, and my dad when he wasn't in jail or when he wasn't working, but you know, finding work after being a felon, you know what I'm saying, pretty difficult. And then like parental divorce and shit like that. I mean, they never really like, you know, black people divorce. They just be like, we don't fuck with each other no more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always been us. I think I played the role of brother to a lot more people, whether it's like younger brother, because I always was the little nigga in areas I wasn't supposed to be in, you know what I'm saying, in the club way before I was supposed to be. I took shots with the CEO of Patron on camera in a bar before I was 21.
Now, I mean, your mom mentioned it, but do you feel like you got to experience a childhood?
To a degree. I think that's like, I think I did, You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll never take away the blessings that I did have. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how less fortunate others are. Um, but I definitely can acknowledge, like, always being aware, you know? And I think that hyper awareness had led to a type of tension just in my life in general, which, like, may have been why I was overly aggressive when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? And it took me, like, really understanding and, like, having certain people be like, hey, you're no longer among wolves, so stop bearing your fangs. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like I did. I definitely feel like, you know, they say your 30s is your 20s with money. I don't want to say I don't want to say I'm gonna be childish when I'm rich as fuck. However, you know what I'm saying. If I decide that I just want to fucking buy out a amusement park just for me, I'm gonna do that. I think there's certain things that I'll appreciate a little bit more. Cause my dad's method of, like, spending time with us was throwing niggas on a game. You know, it did make me a hell of a gamer. You know what I'm saying? The lure into that and my ball knowledge, crazy, nigga, I promise. But, like, knowing and just experiencing shit that I think other people got to see, you know what I'm saying? Not so much. But I think I don't look at any of the quote unquote wrong or things that I didn't get to experience as, like, wrong. You know what I'm saying? I think all of them were the building blocks into, like, what makes the man today. You know what I'm saying? I think, like, it's not real if it ain't got scratches on it. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Now, and I'm interested in this too, because as someone who also kind of, I mean, my father was in my life, but, you know,
yeah,
and so a lot of my understanding of masculinity came from my mom and
Right.
from how she spoke about men and her,
Right.
you know, and then from my father, it was just visual. Like, he would never explain to me what any of these things he was doing, but I just saw and was like, okay, like that's
what strong silent.
yeah. So I'm interested in you, like, you know, how old are you now?
25.
So you're 25 now.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in you at 25, like, what would you say, like, your perception of masculinity or being a man is today? And how has that evolved from, you know, when you were younger?
Loaded question. One, I'll say the same thing that I always say, and I said on my interview with Pluto. My homie Patience taught me a real dope acronym. It was saying that if you look at man as an acronym, it's to manage and navigate. You know what I'm saying? And, like, there's a lot of things in my life where I feel like I've had to be the man. You get what I'm saying? Like, I've had to be the one to manage and navigate. Too early, too late, that's all different perspective. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely can acknowledge, like, one thing that me and my mom will always agree on is, like, she could help make me an amazing person, an amazing human, but she couldn't make me, like, a great man. You know what I'm saying? And, like, that came from a lot of different areas. You know what I'm saying? Like, my cousins, super gangbangers. You know, we're definitely the black sheeps of my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, all them niggas intelligent, sure, but in the other ways. And I could never really look to them or look to, like, my granddads. You know, I say a lot of times, like, when I look even in history, I would see a lot of great men, but they weren't simultaneously good men. You know what I'm saying? There would be shit that they would do that I'm just like, yeah, that nigga, like, conquered the world, but he was beating bitches too. Like, I can't really agree with that. I can't really.
It's crazy duality.
Crazy duality. So it's like, I think I came into this thing of, like, I'm the only person that can really set what I believe the standard of a man should be. And I'm the only one, along with, like, God here to check me about it, just being like, making sure that I uphold it. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be like, oh, a man should be this and a man should be this. But when the going gets tough, who are you? You know, and I think, like, the best story of a man, you know, if you choose to look at, like, the Bible and stuff, is, like, the story of Job. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is easy when you're blessed, but like, who are you when it's all stripped away? And I think the period right before everything changed, right before my trip to Puerto Rico, after the breakup, when I stopped doing the 13 Night Lights, when Heirloom closed down, I lost my first car, the studio closed, like just hella fucking curveballs that I had to take. You know what I'm saying? I I think I got into a space of just like who I am right now, you know what I'm saying, has gotten me to this point. But who I am going to be, I have to start being if I'm going to be there. Um, and it's kind of been like a hard holding on to since then, you know what I'm saying? But throughout all of that time and all of that bullshit, like, I never questioned God, you know what I'm saying? I was always like, damn, this shit hard, this shit. But I never was just like, why God, me? It was just like, I know this fire will make me a better person. You know what I'm saying? It'll make me a better man. This is what I asked for. You can't pray the prayer of like, God, whatever isn't for me, remove it from my life, and then be surprised when shit start leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I follow God heavily, you know what I'm saying? In that path, you know, I've even started getting closer to Islam because I enjoy the discipline and what I see in the men in there, not to, you know, necessarily co-sign everything, because with everything there is like great duality, you know what I'm saying? And I never want to be the person that just tell niggas like, oh, this is the way, while I'm still in the midst of figuring things out, you know what I'm saying? But I do like the acts of praying 5 times a day. I do like the idea of washing my hands and my feet before that, being mindful how I speak. Is like, I appreciate these things. These are all things that I already was taught. And like, shout out to my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, my manager, super nigga, TR3. That nigga is like,
shout out TR3,
bro. Again, super nigga. His last name is literally Golden. Not to put his information out there, but like, he's golden. You know what I'm saying? My brother, Patience. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if it wasn't for him, I'd be a gangbanger. He literally like got me on this path that I am on now, as far as being a creative and shit. Cause like, I was a super big fish in a really small pond, and he was just like, nigga, let me move you over here. And niggas like Coley, like, there's so many people that I could name, you know what I'm saying? Odinero, even to a certain degree. Like, there's all of my brothers like showed me the way, not like on no super preachy shit either, because a lot of times I would learn from their mistakes. Like, I'd be like, nigga, you did that, I'm gonna go the other way. But I definitely think like, when it comes to being a man, like, only you can set that. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, look around you. Like, you if you haven't killed your conscience, you know the difference between right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? You know what a good person looks like. You know what a bad person looks like. So what does a good man look like? What does a great man look like? Before I die, they will be able to say that I was both a great man and a good one.
Hold on. Had to, you know?
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
A little bit of a, you know, was a good mic drop moment on that. No, I love that. And it's kind of funny because it's kind of been a recurring theme in a lot of the conversation I've been having of spirituality has kind of been, you know, a recurring theme, you know, literally talking to Sierra, who does the Zodiac stuff, or Matt, you know, and his Christian upbringing. So it's interesting to me that you know, you brought that up and how that has helped you form your opinion of like manhood and stuff like that. And I say that too because it's interesting at the age you're at, because I always say this is around the time where people start to find like their spiritual alignment, because life starts hitting you with shit and you be like, damn, I gotta do all this by myself. Like, that's crazy.
Right.
But then you start looking outside of yourself, right, whether that be community, like physical, tangible things, or a spiritual guidance of like, okay, like, and I think a beautiful thing, I work with a lot of like younger high school kids, and you know, they're still at that very impressionable age where they think if it ain't this, it ain't manly, and this is for girls, and that's gay, and all of these things. And I kind of reiterate something similar to you of like, I kind of phrase it like this of like, don't you think it's interesting that women have the freedom to be and present however they want, and yet we tell them that they can't do these things.
Right.
But yet as a man, we're literally prisoners to these ideas of what a man can be.
What hegemonic masculinity looks like.
Yes. And so I always tell them, like, kind of like your thing of like, what are you when the chips are down? When all of this goes away, like, yeah, like, you may be cool to the guys, but do you like this?
Right.
Can you go home and look at yourself in the mirror and be okay with these things?
Nigga, when you broke and you got hot dogs,
yeah,
are you gonna eat them or are you gonna starve? No,
yeah,
it's
man.
definitely. My best friend is Curtis Bryant, and like shout out to him first off. I literally love Curtis. One of the greatest people, period. He was the first person to like call me legend just actively. Like that's like been his nickname since he's known me, and like always will be. Like I'd be like, hey best friend. He's like, hey legend. Like he just casually calls me that. But we'll have, you know, he's a queer man, you know what I'm saying? And like we'll have conversations all the time like, damn, there's certain aspects of life that niggas aren't even getting to experience because of what we believe, you get what I'm saying, is like heteronormative, you know what I'm saying? And like we'll joke about it to a certain degree, like we're like, yeah, like niggas can't even recommend niggas. Like it's like,
yeah.
Damn, you thinking about men? You listing niggas in your brain? You said to yourself, I know the perfect guy for this, like gay, like
yeah. Yeah.
It's just like I went whitewater rafting, you know what I'm saying? Like the extreme shit. Like I didn't know. I thought when niggas said whitewaters, I thought we was going to whitewater.
6 Flags.
I pulled up, yeah, bro. I thought I pulled up in some slides, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Bro, I lost the towel and all of that. A nigga don't know how to swim. There was a certain point, literally, like we flipped the boat and shit because we had a nigga named Giggles as our instructor. You know that nigga was the one that was like, yeah, everybody else on the lame shit, but we lit. And like I was just like, well, I can't be no bitch, you know what I'm saying? But there was literally a moment like I was like, and I bring this up because like I had to surrender. You know what I'm saying? And I think surrendering is such an interesting thing in the idea of masculinity. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not a great swimmer.
Yeah.
And like,
same.
I had like, the niggas was further ahead. There was a current. There was a stream. I kept trying to get there. Everybody seemed to be swimming so much faster. They got back to the raft. I was just like, I gotta surrender. I just gotta like let go because my arms was tired, my legs was tired. I literally just turned around and floated. But like, I know it seems like a simple experience, but for me it was like really like a breaking, you know what I'm saying? Because like I've never actively just been like, okay, I'm gonna just let it happen. I know I'm not gonna drown. I'm gonna get there when I get there. What am I rushing for? Niggas paid for this experience, nigga. If I'm finna be in the water the whole time, that's what we came for. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And also just getting over like a low key fear. You know what I'm saying? Because like, it's not that I don't fuck with water. I don't fuck with like the middle of the ocean type shit. The idea of I can't touch the bottom. You know what I'm saying? I've almost drowned like 5 or 6 times in my childhood. So it was like there's that. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think it's powerful, the idea of like every time you get hit with some shit, what are you? You know what I'm saying? And like I used to have this super strong affirmation. I would say it always before every performance, like I am indestructible. Like I would say that shit to myself in periods where like I didn't feel that way. You know what I'm saying? And it's become a thing. Like I don't even really say it anymore because I feel like it's who I am. Like I genuinely feel and know like, nigga, I'm indestructible. This shit can't kill me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like last year was definitely not last year, but the year before that. Damn, time is but whatever time it was just like, they tried to kill your favorite bitch, as Curtis would say it. That's a Miley Cyrus quote for those who get it. But it was just like, nigga, I felt like Kill Bill, like punching out of the grave. You know what I'm saying? And like after I got out of it, you get what I'm saying? Like she stumbled into the thing and asked for some water. Like I don't even want shit else. You get what I'm saying? Because at a certain point, it's like, nigga, what are we thinking about how we present ourselves when it comes to survival? I just want water. I just want to live. I just want to be happy. You know what I'm saying? I want to not want for anything.
I love that, man. I love that. You're talking about Islam, but you reel on the Buddhism wave, and that's where I've kind of gotten a lot of solace from that school of thought. And it's very much not even necessarily, well, the quote unquote goal is to not want, to not suffer, but obviously you can't. But the beauty is you get to pick. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. So with all of that, and this is kind of like, synthesizing everything. Mm-hmm. You spoke about letting go.
Yeah.
What is something right now that you feel as if you need to, that you haven't let go of yet, that you feel as if you need to?
Another loaded question. I think I've always thought like that I had a super supreme confidence in self. You know what I'm saying? Like the idea of insecurity and anxiety and doubt, like that's not really something I was too familiar with. You know what I'm saying? But after certain losses and things like that, I think like these things have crept back into my mind. You know what I'm saying? And as I'm dealing with them in comfort, conquering them, I think I have to let go of certain trauma responses. Like the last time that I had this amount of tension on me in my career and things were going so well, I literally said to my manager, I was like, bro, everything went horribly wrong last time shit was like this. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, well, if you're here again, everything must have to go horribly right now. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think I have to let go of like that punching my way out of the grave thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been very much, especially again after that like 1606 set, like there was just a lot of shit where it was just like, nigga, this is my Phoenix moment. Either I'm going to lay down and let this shit go, or I'm gonna march forward. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't know. I definitely feel like there's a great solace, you know what I'm saying, and like being present. But I definitely think like my body, I was taught to recognize patterns, you know what I'm saying? And I would like to think I'm an intelligent individual. So it's like sometimes I'll be like, I don't know about that. But like things are doing great. And, Curtis has a thing of like, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it work? Why wouldn't it be great? Why don't you deserve? You know what I'm saying? School has a thing. He's like, picture all the money made in Atlanta today, just today alone. Who's to say you can't get 10% of it? Who's to say you can't get more? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think I'm in a space of like I have to let go of thinking that I know what's about to happen. And like and it's something that I've dealt with my whole life. I'm a major control freak. You know what I'm saying? And I think like I've had to control the reins for a little while because I was pulling myself out of my own grave. And like, again, shout out to God. I'll never take all the credit. Like I definitely can acknowledge where God was. I can definitely acknowledge where my sisters were, like my sister Sade, you know what I'm saying? Where certain people were, like Asia Lee, you know what I'm saying? Like she's always spoke life into me. Like I can acknowledge where the existence was, but it definitely felt like a thing of like, again, I must go forward. Because if I don't get where I'm supposed to be, nigga, I don't know if I don't know how I'm gonna continue. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just now getting in space. Like my manager was telling me the other day, like he was like, nigga, stop acting like you still have to work for it. You've already done it. A lot of things that people are chasing, you've seen and already conquered. He put it in a way of like, you've seen things in your life that people have gone 5 lifetimes without experiencing, and yet you're not satisfied. You know what I'm saying? Real Hamilton shit. And he's like, you need to already start acting like you're
comfortable with the idea of being famous, of being acknowledged, of being a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? And that word always makes me uncomfortable because, again, I like the fact that I'm a nigga, you know, your local pretty nigga. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Spider-Man doesn't like to call himself a superhero too much. You know what I'm saying? But my mom also said, like, you can't want to be acknowledged in certain spaces and have certain opportunities without recognizing your power. I feel like I also need to let go of paranoia. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be mad paranoid, bro. There be people coming up to me, like, in this area. Like, I promise you, every day. Like, niggas be thinking I'm being crazy. There's always another random person that either knows me more than I know them or I've never seen in my life being like, hey, you're Armando, or you're Mando, or A13, right? Or you DJ for Isaiah Rashad, you did this. And it's like, it be making me uncomfortable. Those are good experiences. What's not is niggas, like, pulling up on me in the fucking Family Dollar that's like 6 minutes away from my house being like, you don't remember me? You know what I'm saying? Or niggas running up on me in the club like, you Mando? Like, you know what I'm saying? It definitely, I don't know. I think there's like a level of trauma and like just angst of being like, nigga, I'm gonna get you before you get me. And I gotta let it go. I have to be present. I have to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And stop trying to control it. And it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, definitely easier said than done. Okay. Mando, we're getting here towards the end. So
For sure.
My last thing I want to ask, it's a recurring question I ask all my guests. But if somebody is listening to this interview today and they identify with some part of you or your story, whether that be they're an aspiring DJ, whether they are uncovering their own masculinity and spirituality, or they are trying to let go of things. If just anything they've heard from you today and they identify with you, what's some words of advice you would give to them?
I always start with God loves you. You know what I'm saying? So do I, to an extent. But definitely God loves you. Somebody loves you. You know what I'm saying? And continue on. You know what I'm saying? You didn't get this far just to give up. I think it's always a thing for me of like pouring in to whoever decides to listen to my voice. So if you are, I appreciate you. God loves you. You deserve. You know what I'm saying? And I pray that you get everything that you deserve and want out of life. Just honestly. I guess any other words of encouragement or anything like that is like, if you're in the Atlanta area or anything else, you know, and you would like to talk to someone or you want to come out and sweat out your inhibitions, come to a set of mine. Like it's always going to be a thing of like, this is intentional. I do this for the people. So like, don't make me a monolith and then don't speak to me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hope the art can help in whatever way necessary if my words can't.
Oh, lovely. The people love it. Well, Mando, we're here at the end. Thank you again for having me out here. I guess really quickly for the people here, we're slated for probably like a mid to late August release.
I love that.
Let the people know where they can find you, they can find your work, where they can book you, or any of the things you got coming up.
Understood. So for those who don't know, I think it'd be interesting for you to make it all the way to the end.
Yeah, no, that'd be crazy.
Right. But my name is Armando, your local pretty nigga, your mom's favorite DJ. You can find me literally everywhere at A13MANDO, A13MANDO. Once again, A13MANDO. You can literally Google me. You know what I'm saying?
Type shit.
But I mean, I don't even think that's as much as a flex as it used to be. Because now you
That's
can Google
true.
everybody
That
with
is
the AI shit, bro.
Yeah, well,
that used to be my favorite.
We'll take what we can
thing.
get. We'll take what we can get.
Right. But you definitely reach out to me. My email, if you want to book me, is bookarmando. But like, just talk to me, bro. You'll definitely see me outside and we can build as individuals, you know?
All right. Well, thank you so much, Armando. That's going to do it for this episode. I want to thank you once again for having me over here. We really just knocked this shit out. You just commented on a post and I was like, bet, let's do it.
Oh, you're so awesome. Like, you really are dope. When you said you won, I was like, no, wait, I did it.
Yeah,
so
man.
thank you,
so
bro.
no, yeah. Thank you, bro. So once again, thank you to Armando, and also thank you to you, the listener, for tuning in. So tune in next time, where I'm gonna have somebody in Armando's seat and I'm gonna be annoying them with questions. Thank you for listening, and have a good one.